Every once in a while I get a game of War Thunder that I just have to share on the channel, and today we have a 10 kill game with the F8U at 10.3 battle rating, and we managed to lose the game. If you want to figure out how, stick around, but first, if you're not already subscribed to the channel, you watch my videos regularly anyways, I would really appreciate if you just go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I would like to get to 40k by 2025, if not early 2025. Pretty big goal, but you know what, I think it's possible when most of the people that watch the videos aren't actually subscribed. And then of course, if you're going to pick up anything from the Gaijin store, use my link in the description down below, get 3% off and this decal on screen. However, that being said, I will be covering a bunch of premiums coming up when the sales drop, usually around Christmas time, and you might want to just hold off until then. So how do we manage to get 10 kills, and how do we manage to get 10 kills and lose? Well, to answer that question, let's look at the F8U Crusader. This thing's 10.3 battle rating, despite being honestly probably better than the F8E these days at 10.7. The reason why you would play the F8E back in the day over the F8U is because the F8U had a chronic ripping issue where you just mismatch your keys a little bit, you tap the wrong thing in the wrong situation, and your wings are gone just like that. However, with the way that Gaijin has changed the wing ripping mechanic and the fact that you have to sustain high G loads in order for the wings to actually fall off, it's not very random anymore, and it makes the F8U very flyable. And this thing actually has the better flight performance due to the fact that it's a little bit lighter than the F8E. So really, you have the better flight model plane that doesn't have the random ripping issue anymore at a lower battle rating. There's really just no reason not to play the F8U anymore. And I'm sure somebody out there is going to say, but what about the AIM-9C? The F8U doesn't have the AIM-9C. The AIM-9C is awesome. Well, if you think it's awesome, that's great. I completely disagree. It's a pulse missile at a battle rating where chaff is absolutely everywhere. It's pretty useless considering the fact that it takes up 2 of your AIM-9D slots. Well, I think you can mix match your missiles with the F8 these days, so you could probably only take one AIM-9C if you really wanted to, but it's not worth taking over the AIM-9D. So too long didn't read, this plane is pretty under-tiered compared to its brother, the F8E. There's really no reason they can't be the same battle rating, but I'm not complaining. 10.3 gets plenty of down tiers, and that's pretty much what I get in this match, and one of the reasons I'm able to get 10 kills. Of course, anytime you get 10 kills, guys, there is a lot of luck involved. Just the fact that your team has to be just poor enough, and you have to do just well enough to actually survive and get those kills, but there's got to be enough people alive on the other team to do so. So anytime you get that many kills in a match, there is a ton of luck involved, and I'm not going to deny that. But it still makes for an interesting game nonetheless. Here in the furball of things, it's pretty chaotic, but I'm in the F8U. As long as I keep my situational awareness about me, keep my head on a swivel, don't need any missiles that I don't see coming, I have all of these guys, well, there's nothing they can really do to me, we'll just say that. Speaking of situational awareness, I relied on hearing that AIM-9L coming last second. I'm very lucky I was able to flare that away, but I'm at the point in the game right now where my team's kind of falling apart. The other team is very clearly winning the furball, and that's usually what's going to decide who wins the game. So we completely whiff shots and choke on the Harrier. I overshoot him. I can't evade too aggressively there because I don't want to slow down enough for the F100 to catch me that I knew was chasing me. So I do overshoot. I do kind of half-ass my evasion when I get in front of his guns, but as long as I do just enough to keep them from hitting me, I need to keep that energy. And now I can isolate this F100 into a dogfight. The Harrier is never going to be able to catch me and join in this dogfight. I just have to be mindful of any missiles. The F100, of course, is going to lose this every single time. Not only do I have a lot more thrust to weight than him, I'm going to perform better at these altitudes than him, but I also just straight up turn better than him once I get these flaps down. The landing flaps, especially on the F8U, are absolutely phenomenal. You will win most of all of your dogfights at this battle rating. Really, there's nothing else at 10.3 anyways, so then when you go down in battle rating, you're pretty much going to beat everything in 1 versus 1s, solely due to the fact that you're down tiering yourself pretty much all of the time. So we line up a nice little stalling shot on the F100. Once he's that slow, there's really nothing he can do to stop that from happening and avoid my guns. Probably stick that head on a little too long with the MiG-21S. I'm pretty lucky there. Maybe it's because I got good ping, I don't know, but I could have died there very easily. We get a couple hits on the T2, then at this point I just need to figure out how to start eliminating people. I'm pretty much the last guy alive on my team. I think I am the last guy alive on my team, and there's plenty of enemies left, so just start out finding somebody that you can get out of the match early. It doesn't matter what they are. Anytime you can reduce the numbers is going to be a win for you, and so the A10s naturally are the easiest target for me right now. Stick a head on with the first A10, who doesn't pull off and ends up eating my 20 mils, and then this A10 is just too slow. He's focusing on ground pounding, which, you know, is probably what he should be doing in this stage of the game, but gotta keep your situational awareness about you, and so he's going to end up falling as well. So that's 2 more kills and potentially aim 9Ls out of the match. That could be a problem when I start dogfighting these more competitive aircraft like the F1 and the MiG-21. I can't emphasize it enough, when you are down in numbers, it doesn't matter what the plane is that you eliminate, find somebody to eliminate. You need to do everything you can to get rid of that numbers deficit as fast as possible and as much as possible. It doesn't matter if it's a P-51 Mustang in a top tier jet match. If you get caught stalling out dogfighting somebody that you deemed more of a threat at the time, the P-51 could come in and third party you and ruin your day. Bit of a crazy example, unrealistic, sure, but that's just what I'm trying to say to prove the point right now. Hope you guys understand. Make sure you get your eliminations in. So now we're on our way back to base because we're running out of fuel, we're running out of ammo. I only have 24 shots per gun, and I'm just hoping that the SAMs get some of these guys off of me right now. And then now that the MiG-21 is split off, I'm actually going to do the opposite and lead this F1 away from my airfield, because at this point I'm thinking, hey, I could probably go for a new personal kill record, and I don't want the SAMs to steal my kills, and of course I don't want to camp my airfield and be lame in that sense. So we're going to draw him out and try to get him into a 1v1 dogfight here. Hopefully the SAM doesn't kill him and it manages to blow up just in time. And at this point, there's nothing he can really do. I'm pretty sure that the F8 is going to win this every single time, but especially considering my fuel load right now on my landing flap configuration, there's no way he's going to be turning inside of me. And so eventually he just kind of starts falling out of the sky. It makes it a pretty easy shot, but I don't have much ammo, so I got to be careful about aiming that. We've seen me whiff a lot of easy shots earlier in the game. Not very practiced with any of the guns these days in War Thunder, considering I pretty much only play top tier for the sake of videos. But I'm very thankful that those managed to connect, because now I have absolutely no ammo and very low fuel. We land, we rearm, we refuel, get back up in the air, and gotta hunt down these last bit of players. My biggest enemy at this point in my mind is the clock, whether it be tickets or time. I'm not really concerned about any of the planes that the other team has right now. I'm very confident that the F8 is going to beat all of them. But am I going to be able to do it in a timely enough manner to win the game? Well, as I said earlier in the video, no, I'm not. You'll see me pick off an AI A4 here and there probably throughout the rest of the video, because the AI airplanes are actually what drains your tickets the fastest, and so that's kind of a defensive measure by me to take out their AI A4 Skyhawks, and I'm trying to kind of preserve as many of my tickets as possible. So now we've got ourselves a 1v1 with an AV-8 Harrier. Nothing the Harrier's going to be doing in this situation. He can try to do some tricky VTOL stuff, but as long as I keep my energy, keep my speed, his VTOL isn't going to be doing anything to me. And we can kind of just spiral up, come down on top of him, and definitely hit him from his defenseless angles. This particular user didn't use any VTOL anyways, but the plan is pretty much still the same regardless when you're fighting a Harrier. You just kind of spiral up, come around back on top of them or from behind them, get on their 6 some way. Doesn't really matter. The AV-8 does not have enough power to keep up with you. It's never going to have as much energy as you when you're coming in past supersonic speeds, and it's a pretty easy plane to take down in a 1 versus 1. Just gotta watch out for the missiles, but if you have flares, it doesn't really matter. And to that one viewer out there that to this day thinks I'm an idiot because I said that the Harrier does not have more thrust to weight than the MiG-29, well, I hope you're doing well, man, and I hope you've found the thrust charts by now. And so that's pretty much the toughest thing I'm going to do for the rest of the game, is finish off that Harrier. And at this point, it's a lot of just looking around. I end up finding a T2, I beat him in a dogfight. I don't think he was really trying too hard. I think maybe he had some ground strike stuff strapped to his plane. It wasn't a hard fight. There's really no point in talking too much about it. And then after that, there's 2 guys left alive on the other team, one of which is a ground striker. I believe it was an A5 or a Q5, one or the other. And the other guy was nowhere to be found. He had 0 score on the scoreboard, did nothing the entire game, but he wasn't at his airfield. So I have no idea where this dude was. He wasn't interacting with the map at all. He was probably literally like 100 kilometers away, because even small Spain, you can fly out to the very edges of the map and the map just starts growing for you. You never actually get map bordered on Spain. So I have absolutely no idea where this guy was. And ultimately, that's why I ended up losing the game, is because that random AFK user with 0 score doing absolutely nothing but flying to the edge of the map. And that never happens. You can't find the edge of the map on Spain. And so after finishing off the T2, I go back and forth between trying to decide if I could sneak in some ground targets and try to take the ticket advantage, or if I want to go for all the kills possible, because I have gotten a 10 kill game before. 11 would be my new personal best. So I was on the hunt to beat my record. I wasn't trying to win by tickets. That's really lame. But unfortunately, the one guy that is still playing is just camping his airfield. And the reason he's able to camp the airfield and doesn't start bleeding the tickets is because that one guy just randomly somewhere on the map. If he was the last guy alive, he has 90 seconds to rearm, refuel, and take off, otherwise the game ends. But since he has one teammate in the middle of nowhere, he gets to just land, J out, spawn back in. Every time I tried to dive and strafe him, which I cut out because I don't want this video to last forever, he would just J out, leave the vehicle, and basically did nothing but sit on his airfield the rest of the game, and I have to lose for it. Absolutely some incredible game design by Gaijin having AI ticket bleed be a thing. If the tickets weren't auto-draining so much, I probably would have had a much better chance at just going to finish off the tickets myself and destroy some of theirs, but you know, Gaijin, for some reason, in their experience, they say, auto ticket bleed is never an issue, so they're not going to address it. Absolutely fantastic feedback from the company. I'm glad we have such wonderful devs such as themselves. And then, of course, the runway mechanic of him being able to just camp his airfield and be immune to me strafing him or trying to do anything that involves playing the video game, and that's not allowed around here either. And so I have to just take the loss from the clock, and that's ultimately how I lose. So 10 kills and a loss. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you later.